Mario Kart 64 is the most tedious game I think I've ever played.
I've got beef. No! No! Get off the No!
From the ridiculousness of spinning out for no reason when you're like a heavy character like Bowser.
Why am I...
Not to mention the CPUs in this game are friggin' ridiculous. You can pelt them with a million different items and they'll somehow find a way to catch back up.
Don't even think about it. What? Bro, you can't even give me a second in first place. It always has to throw somebody behind me. You don't freaking move. See? What the heck?
Not only will they catch back up, sometimes they'll end up traveling through space and time and manage to get so far ahead in first place, you begin to wonder how this game is even possible to beat to begin with.
Okay, Yoshi is like on the moon. This man is like practically in space, he's so far ahead. I don't know how this is possible. Bruh.
Also, this game has mirror mode Toad's Turnpike. That's all I need to say. That's it.
Oh, no, bro. This ain't... This is a minefield. This ain't even Mario Kart anymore. This is Minecart.
Anyways, so today I wanted to rank all the Mario Kart items in Mario Kart 64. Now to start out with this list, I need to mention I didn't get to play it with multiplayer. This is only based off a single player, which is based off of my experience in using these in 50cc, 100cc, 150cc, and mirror mode, which I managed to beat all cups in all those modes. Starting out at the very bottom of this list, we have this trash item that I wish I could just send to the Shadow Realm and throw it in the trash, bruh. It is called the Mushroom, the single mushroom. Why is this thing garbage? Well, for whatever reason, it feels like the CPUs can boost with you when you use the boost item. It is crazy. I got an example right here.
Look how far ahead they are. And I just wasted that mushroom. It almost looked like I was going through the map in a second. It wasn't a mushroom, it was just a star. But I wasted it. It's too late. It's too late. They're too powerful. What the Bruh! Make it make sense! The mushrooms are useless. I'm going to say it for everybody in the back. And the people, if they're on the moon or in some space shuttle from NASA, it's useless. You might as well not use the mushrooms.
Many Mario Kart 64 fans have complained about this. They do not understand this. The game itself has a huge rubber banding problem with the NPCs. Like, whenever you go faster, they go faster. Whenever you're super far ahead, they start to get super far ahead. It gets ridiculous of how far ahead these CPUs can get, which makes the goal of the game to keep the CPUs behind you and to constantly hold on to items and use them at the right moments to make sure that they cannot boost ahead. So yeah, the single mushroom, freaking ridiculous. Now here is a hot take. Before I put the triple mushroom on this list, I think the infinite mushroom offends me more. The reason why the infinite mushroom offends me more, because I find it better to use the infinite mushroom in moderation than just spam the button and tap away. I've got footage right here of just, you're just like spamming this button over and over and over and over and over and over again. And the enemies are just boosting with you. They're just going for a ride with you. It is crazy. None of this makes any sense. It's just complete nonsense. It's honestly offensive. Get this garbage out of here. That's in trash tier. As well as the triple mushroom. Now this is when we're getting in the hot take territory. You all need to let me know in the comments if you disagree, but we're on the next tier. Okay, so starting out this tier in the bottom. The frickin' blue shell. Now why is this here? You're all probably really confused. This item isn't useless. Well, it is when you're dealing with CPUs, and I'll tell you why. First of all, this has the same problem of the red shell, where instead of actually targeting the opponents in front of you, it will just think to itself, you know what sounds like fun? Eating the wall, and just go straight into the wall. just go straight into the wall. Like, what the? Anyways, so it has the issue of going straight into the wall and not hitting any opponents. The nice thing is that it can hit opponents in front of you that are not in first place as it is getting to the intended destination to hit the person in first place. But if the person in first place is really, really far ahead, sometimes it doesn't even feel like or seem that it gets to the intended destination at all. It just seems like they're still traveling through space and time. They're going so fast. They're like going so fast they're in the Speed Force. I don't know how the CPUs do it. Yeah, and so like for me, I've had really, really bland results with it. And barely any results at all. And not to mention it is a really rare item. So yeah, I would say in single player it's definitely low on the list. Next on the list, this one is kind of a tough one for me. But I'm gonna have to go with the fake items box. Now, why does this one suck? Well, when you're playing with friends, it can be really obvious that it's a fake item box unless you strategically place it next to other item box. Like sometimes the CPUs would do that and I'd actually fall for the oldest trick in the book and then feel like a complete idiot. The thing about the fake items box is you can use it and hold on to it to defend you against opponents that are trying to pass, but it also feels really small and has a little range of coverage, to be honest, and I had a hard time landing it in comparison to other items like the shells. That was actually pretty good driving, not gonna lie. Oh my god, Bowser really f***ing took all three of my shells? Are we for real? It is one of the few items in Mario Kart 64 that you can't throw in front of you, and you only had the option to drop it behind you. That said, it's not useless. Like if a CPU is nearby and you see them slightly behind you, it's good to drop that thing and you can make them spin out. Next on the list, here we are. We got the banana. Now the banana I'm going to include multiplayer for and its usage in multiplayer, even though, you know, we're mostly focused on single player. Because the thing about the banana is there's this cool trick where if you run into the banana and you start hearing the spin out sound effect, you can brake, and as you're braking, a small music note icon will pop up right next to the player and it will prevent a spin out, which is crazy. That really helped me through the playthroughs, figuring out that was possible. When accidentally running into the bananas or I hear a spin out sound incoming, I would start to hit the brake and then I would see the music note and then it would stop, which was really helpful when I was trying to play the King Koopa himself, Bowser, and then he felt like just spinning out for no freaking reason. This kept happening over and over again. Bowser was just spitting out in air. It was the craziest crap. I don't even understand why this is a thing. Anyways, we're getting off topic. That is just cool if you put one of those fake things. Oh my gosh, why am I spinning out? But banana, for the most part, is pretty good. The CPUs will not prevent spinouts. They tend to just run into bananas and spin out. I haven't seen one break to stop a spin out, at least yet. But what I find with this game, new things get discovered every day. But yeah, it's a pretty decent item. Bro, I'm in fourth. Like, the NPCs really need to chill out. Let a man have a break. What the f***? Next item on this list, we have the bundled bananas. Now, there's some good things about the bundled bananas. They cover a large space behind you. You can throw the multiple bananas in front of you. The only downside to this is if a player crashes into them behind you, and with items I tend to want to hold on to them instead of throw them, all the bananas are lost and they'll scatter across the map. So if opponents don't run into those bananas on following laps, you can actually run into your own banana pretty easily because they do cover a pretty wide range of the map when they scatter. But, you know, for the most part, they're pretty decent. And for the most part, the CPUs will just run into them by the time you're on the next lap anyway. Especially if you're not far back. If you're closer to the front and you're keeping them behind you, shouldn't be a problem. So overall, it's a pretty solid item, I gotta say. Okay, next on this list, I'm gonna have to go Boo. Now, Boo is hit or miss. There's some good things about Boo. One of the good things is that you're pretty much invincible while you're using him, and he will often steal an item. Sometimes, though, you're just out of luck. He doesn't give you anything. When that happens, like, what the hell? But, you know, for the most part, it works pretty decent. You have an invulnerability period, and he can give you crazy stuff, like the lightning bolt, if you're lucky. Next item on this list, we have the single green shell. Now the single green shell is pretty solid overall, I think. It does give you coverage in front of you. It can be hard to aim. If you miss the aim with the green shell, or the green shells plural, it can be devastating because they can bounce off of walls and you can accidentally crash into your own shell. I've done that. Amateur mistakes happen a lot with this game. Every once in a while someone SDs in Smash Bros. It's a thing. But anyways, green shell I kind of like. Nothing really bothers me about the green shell. Green shells work in this game as I think they should work. And then the next one up, I'm going to have to put the triple green shells. Pretty much same reason. It's green shells, but you get 3 of them, which is really nice to have coverage in front of you. And when players are behind you, they provide a shield because they spin around you. So, there's that. A little extra benefit to having the triple as opposed to just the 1. Above that, we have the red shell. Now, the red shell has a problem in this game. It has a problem of wanting to crash into the wall instead of the intended targets in front of you, especially in certain maps, like one of the ice maps with the snowmen. I forget what it's called. Let me Google this. There's 2 ice maps. Why is there... Anyways, there's the section with this big ice wall in Frappe Snowland, and typically I'd throw the shells in that section, and they would always hit the wall, even when you had targets right in front of your freaking face. It was the most annoyingest thing on the planet, especially since that's towards the end of the lap. So if you're on the 3rd lap and the shells aren't landing, like, what the heck? Next, we have the triple red shells. Same reason as red shells, they do have the auto target, so although sometimes they don't work. For the most part, red shells are pretty solid overall. And it's really nice to have a coverage where you just have shells surrounding you. So if you accidentally run into a banana or a fake box, it will take the damage for you in most cases. But sometimes you'll get unlucky and the shell will be spinning behind you or not at the right angle if you only have 2 or 1 left. So that's a thing too. Unfortunate when that happens. Ask in the chat for when that happens. So now we're in the top tier sections. The best of the best. And starting off this list of the top tiers, I'm going to have to go with the Invincibility Star. The nice thing about the Invincibility Star is it gives you extra speed. You're invincible, so you can crash into people in front of you and do some serious damage. And that's super useful. It's overall a really useful item, and you get a cool song that plays when you use it. So, definitely top tier. This now brings us to the best item in the whole entire game. And that is the lightning bolt. The lightning bolt is super awesome when you get that, because it is the one item where somebody is exploring the cosmos on the moon, practically in the stars, in the speed force, going at light speed. You can finally catch up. Every once in a while, it would allow you to catch up when you get the lightning bolt, but there's times when you still can't, which still amazes me to this day. How is it even possible? How is it even possible? Like, what the heck? But still, it's the best item in the game. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys. Please hit the like and subscribe if you want to see more. You're also going to check out my Mario Kart 64 live streams. I streamed it on this channel. It took me hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours to beat. So, you can enjoy me screaming at the monitor if that's the type of thing you're into. But, anyways, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Later. Peace.